Hello my fellow bread enthusiasts. In last weekend's video I briefly mentioned the forest fires in Brazil, and at the time it wasn't a topic that I knew much about. The more I looked into it, the more I saw a president who was actively and intentionally making the problem worse, in alarming, if not outright evil ways. Let's start when the fires did. The raging wildfires, which are burning throughout the dry season, took hold after farmers reportedly announced a coordinated day of fire on the 10th of August.
The idea was to clear land, but also to send a signal of their support for Bolsonaro. The idea being that you would see the smoke and see that they're hard at work delivering his agenda of developing the Amazon and other forests in Brazil.
Says Richard George of Greenpeace International in an interview with The Independent.
What he has done through his words and deeds is given the go-ahead to farmers and illegal loggers, encouraging them into indigenous communities. The whole area around the Amazon has been highly volatile with loggers and farmers, and Bolsonaro has absolutely lit a torch under that.
Jair Bolsonaro, Brazil's controversial far-right president, appears to be deliberately obstructing the conservation effort and claiming that NGOs and indigenous communities living within the Amazon are undermining the country. On Tuesday, he briefly rejected aid from the G7 nations, though political pressures forced him to accept only hours later. The Brazilian government seems to see the fires as beneficial to their plans to build bridges, a motorway, and a hydroelectric plant deep in the jungle.
Development projects must be implemented on the Amazon basin to integrate it into the rest of the national territory in order to fight off international pressure for the implementation of the so-called AAA conservation project.
One slide of an uncovered PowerPoint reads,
To do this, it is necessary to build the Trombetas River hydroelectric plant, the Óbidos Bridge over the Amazon River, and the implementation of the BR-163 highway to the border.
And the blame for the ever-increasing damage to the Amazon rainforest, the place where 20% of the Earth's oxygen is produced, is steadily being shifted to indigenous peoples who are likewise trying to desperately save their homeland and livelihood even now, as the fires continue to rage on. Another group that Bolsonaro seems to despise is NGOs, which stands for non-government organizations. This could be groups like Greenpeace or Gaia Amazonas, the organization that is spearheading the effort to conserve the rainforest from the Brazilian efforts at development. Just as a quick recap, pro-Bolsonaro farmers and ranchers set a series of coordinated fires to clear land for development deep within indigenous territory. The government is refusing to step in and at least trying to refuse aid because, despite the loss of indigenous lives and livelihood, the fires accomplish what the Bolsonaro government's biggest goals are: to line their pockets as they give our planet black, charred lungs. And in the midst of all of that, they're using their political platform to blame everyone who's so desperately trying to prevent this fire from happening. I was worried last week when I thought that this was an outcome of global warming, which is no doubt contributing to their record spread. But to find out that every detail has been planned out in a concerted far-right neoliberal cash grab, that even now we can't stop ruining our planet for the vaguest hints of profit, this is a crime against the earth itself. And I hope that Bolsonaro gets a very just and karmic reward for all of this in the end. Alright, you know what to do by now. It's YouTube. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the links in the description.